Hi there, year one children. It's Mr Yeardsley. I'm going to read you a story today. It's a traditional tale. It's called The Frog Prince. And he looks happy. Princess doesn't look too happy though, does she? Once upon a time, there was a princess who had no friends. The king and queen invited other boys and girls to play, but they wouldn't stay for long. She doesn't share, they said. She doesn't keep her promises. We don't like playing with her. Oh, I don't care, the princess said. I don't like them anyway. There she is, on a seesaw. Oh. There they are, not wanting to play. So the princess became used to playing by herself. She liked to play down by the steep lily pond with her best toy, an old ball made of the purest gold which her grandmother had given her. One day she dropped the ball. Before she could stop it, it rolled into the pond. She watched it sink into the depths until she could see it no more. She began to cry. I'll never find it now, she wept. It's lost forever. Can you see the ball? Oh, flashed into the water. Just then, a small voice came from the pond. What's the matter, little girl? Why are you upset? There were two small eyes poking out of the water. I'm not a little girl, she said huffily. I'm a princess and I'm upset because I just dropped my golden ball into the water and now I'll never see it again. I wonder what it is that was talking. Shall we see? Oh, there are the eyes. What is it? Frog. A head popped up. Don't cry, it croaked. Oh, said the princess, I'm talking to a frog. You're lucky that you are, answered the frog. I can rescue your ball from the pond. Really, said the princess. I'd give you a reward. I've got some lovely jewels, even a crown. That's no use to me, croaked the frog. But if I did rescue your ball, I'd be nice if you would be my friend. I could come to your palace and have a meal with you and maybe sleep over. Of course, said the princess. I promise. Think she will, then? Well, there he is thinking about being friends. Without another word, the frog dived below the surface. The princess watched it swim down until she could see it no more. After what seemed an age, she saw its dark shape coming up to the surface once more, with a shiny ball in its mouth. There. The frog hopped out of the water and dropped the precious ball. Thank you, said the princess, as she picked it up. And goodbye, I have to be home for supper. And she ran off towards the castle. Wait, called the frog. We're supposed to be friends now. Don't be silly, the princess called back over her shoulder. Who ever heard of a frog being friends with a human, let alone a princess? Oh, she's gone back on her word. The very next morning, the princess was at breakfast and there was a loud knocking at the door. Who can that be? Asked the king. I'll go, offered the princess. It might be a present. She ran to the door and opened it. And to her horror, you see who it is? She saw the frog sitting on the step. She slammed the door shut and went back to the table. Who is at the door, dear? Asked the queen. Just a frog, muttered the princess, feeling a little ashamed of how she treated it. A frog? Inquired the king. What would a frog want with us? Then they heard more knocking and the reedy croak of the frog. Please let me in, it called. Remember your promise. Peeping through the door. A promise is a promise, said the queen. You'd better tell us all about it. So the princess told them how the frog had rescued her beloved golden ball. Well then, said the king, you must let it in. The princess went slowly to the door and opened it. You promised that I could come and visit you, the frog reminded her. Is breakfast ready? I'm so hungry. And it hopped right in. Hopping in. Even though it was only a frog, it seemed very much at home in the grand surroundings. Nice place you got here, it said approvingly. This is a nice breakfast. May I sit next to you? Don't be silly, retorted the princess. You're only a frog. You must be kind, her parents reminded her, and you must keep your promises. So the princess lifted it up onto the table and it joined them for breakfast. It was very good company and told lots of good jokes, and there were times when the princess almost forgot he was a frog. She's not happy there. And then, quite likes him. They played together all day. The frog knew some very good games and they both had a lovely time. Time for bed, her parents called at last. Frog, would you like to stay over? I'd love to, croaked the frog. The princess was not so sure, but her parents reminded her of her promise. Oh, well, she snapped. Guess I'll have to. She was not very happy. Although she wouldn't admit it, she quite enjoyed getting ready for bed. The frog knew lots of really exciting bedtime stories, and it was very late before they were both asleep. The princess woke the next morning to the sound of quiet, tiny sobs coming from the frog. What's the matter? She asked. All I wanted was a proper friend, sobbed the frog, but you're only doing this because your parents have told you to. I may as well go back to the pond. Oh, please don't cry, said the princess. I had fun yesterday. I actually forgot you were a frog for some of the time, so I think we can be friends. I know some really good games we can play today. Now stop crying. And with that, she gave the frog a friendly kiss on the cheek. There was a sudden flash. All at once the frog vanished, and a boy appeared in his place. He wore the finest clothes and a splendid crown. Thank you, he cried. I was trapped in a spell, but now I can go back to my life as a prince. Not before we've played those games, said the princess. They had such a lovely time playing together that the prince decided to stay another day, and then another, until it seemed silly to ever leave, and they became the very best of friends. Funny, isn't it? Sometimes people can be mean to you, and then you have to have a good think, and then they're friends. How are your friends at school? Are you missing them? I bet you are. If you're in school, you might see them sometimes, mightn't you? Or even if you're out of school, you might meet them on the video, or maybe out when you're out to the park on your daily exercise. Guys, I'll read you another story tomorrow. Remember, if you see someone without a smile, give them one of yours. Take care.